And guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a really fun day. Again, sorry we had a couple hiccups at the start of the show, but when we do this again, I think it's going to go smooth and easy.
Yep.
And shout-outs to Caster Muse and Crank for wrangling the Korean pros and covering this in Korean. Shout-outs to Indy for casting this in Polish. Shout-outs to Realms.world for sponsoring it.
And shout out to Tasteless's cat for keeping me entertained when I'm...
Shout out to the cats for being cute and fuzzy.
Exactly.
So, we've got Cure. Sorry, that's TY in the bottom right, StarCraft 1 Terran. And Cure in the top left, StarCraft 2 Terran. And will these games be uploaded on YouTube? Yes, chat, they will be. You can sub to my YouTube. So, I am really curious about the role of mech in SC1 versus SC2 Terran. And who's actually got better mech? We know that StarCraft 1 siege tanks are technically better, but, you know, StarCraft 2 siege tanks, they start out with siege mode right away. The mech army for StarCraft 2 is very fluid. In fact, I don't even think you necessarily have to go for mech in StarCraft 2 versus a StarCraft 1 mech Terran. I think you can go for Marauders and Marines. I think Marauders kind of solve a lot of the problems that Bio had in StarCraft 1 mech. I think that's literally why that unit was designed that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also curious because, like, for StarCraft 2 mech, I was talking a little bit before how they have Liberators in StarCraft 2, so if you get the air superiority, you can actually just continually push their tank line back, so it doesn't necessarily stall out like it would in Brood War TVT, where they're then just kind of waiting for, you know, mass, like, they do, like, mass drops everywhere, and then they get eventually, like, battle cruisers to bust through the tank lines and everything. So that doesn't actually have to happen when it comes to StarCraft 2 mech. So if they do end up going mech versus mech, I really want to see them go mech versus mech. I want to see, like, just full on a macro mech versus mech game and see what that interaction actually plays as.
Is that trap that? What am I looking at?
Yeah. Kira's got... Oh, the Marine actually came out just in time to be able to deny the SCV, even though it was in that little corner away from the other SCVs. But the Reaper will still be here. Will it be able to actually kill off 2 Marines by itself with good micro? We'll find out.
I mean, I think it will kill that.
He didn't cancel the bunker.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Second Reaper will join this as well, so we'll see if he wants to YOLO up here. He's got 5 Marines out for now. I feel like this shouldn't be able to do too much here. Even with Reaper grenades, I think this is too many Marines. Let's see. Oh, we actually moved the Marines down, so that will allow them to get into the main base here. We'll be able to pick off one for free. Second one also getting killed off here. Could this snowball a little bit? We'll find out.
I'm getting a little bit worried here for TY. You know, you could really see that StarCraft 1, you never had to deal with anything like a Reaper. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you basically just figure out where the entrance is and seal it off and play.
I think it's not too bad for now. I mean, he's going to go into bio again, which is kind of interesting.
I can't believe he's doing this. This is so crazy to me. Okay. I think he can make this work, though, but he has to do it with some mech.
Yeah, and not mass ghosts.
I mean, I think some of the mass ghosts are okay, but I think you can't only go mass ghosts.
Yeah.
The ghost, you know, it's funny. The reason why it's not popular in StarCraft 1 is, A, because it costs the same amount of gas as a tank.
Does it really? Oh, my god.
Yeah, it's like 100 gas. And then it is, it doesn't do almost any damage. Yeah. It's got long range, but it's not actually, it's, sorry, 75 gas, somebody corrected me. But that's basically almost a tank. So, and then it, you know, it doesn't do that much damage. It's slow. It can cloak, but that doesn't really matter because it's not doing a lot of damage to begin with, right?
Yep.
Lockdown's a hard ability to use. Now, I think TY is using it because it's a StarCraft 2 interface, because it's, obviously this is an SC2 mod, so you can actually chain lockdowns together without them all shooting one lockdown at, you know, like a battlecruiser as an example.
Yeah.
By the way, today in the SC Evo matches, we really didn't have a lot of, like, endgame air fleets. We didn't get carriers. We didn't have battle cruisers. We never got broodlords.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I kind of thought we'd have more of that.
I feel like the one game that it really should have ended up happening was the JD Stork game. But I think Jaedong was just a little less comfortable in figuring out how to maneuver into the late game that game, so he didn't actually end up getting to the broodlords. But I feel like it could have been very strong in that game specifically. But it seems like, yeah, like the way that the games are being played out, it's like it seems like the players don't know exactly the right times to transition into the later stages of the game and when to get their higher tech and whatnot, and whether or not that high tech actually is even good or not. Because like Brood War carriers are not in the same realm of StarCraft 2 carriers, and that like you can't just like mass a bunch of them and just A move and just beat everything if they don't have the right things to deal with it, like you kind of can in StarCraft 2 a little bit. So I feel like certain situations they're just not really sure yet. Maybe are just more comfortable just kind of playing out with these mid-game armies more so.
Okay, so one thing that I'm seeing here from TY is that because he goes bio, he is able to take a third base a little bit faster. He's already got this third command center set up. How many barracks does he have in his main, by the way? Oh, wait, they're both going to go for bio.
Oh, wow.
Which I guess isn't too shocking. StarCraft 2 bio, I think, just makes sense. It's like a good comp. Again, for those of you that just watch StarCraft 2, you got to understand, StarCraft 1 Terran versus Terran, it's all mech. And it's a very rigid, kind of long matchup. And so it's pretty intriguing that TY, who may be the best SC Evo player, like for both of the races, seems to want to go for bio versus SC2 Terran.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, I'm curious how he's going to play it as well, because I feel like with medevacs in StarCraft 2, the maneuverability and drop potential is so much larger, and so there's so many things that you can do with the actual bio army, whereas TY is going to just have to essentially rally giant groups of units to different sides of the map and try to out-harass that way. So if the game ends up going to that stage, I'm curious what ends up happening with those different types of interactions. But Cure for now is just kind of set on stabilizing his 3 bases here, as he did get that fast 3 CC, but wasn't able to actually land it just yet. Now with the 2 medevacs finally being out, will try to do that, but apparently, you know, getting scanned like that, a little bit scared, doesn't want to just run away with half of his army there. We're gonna see dude, we're gonna see irradiate onto bio.
I can't believe.
Oh my god!
So we call this style that you see here, it's SK Terran, where you're getting science vessels and bio on the ground, but you use that versus a StarCraft 1 Zerg. By the way, guys, there's 5 million won prize pool on the line here. So, like, this is not just like, you know, people messing around. This is they're playing to win. They're going to try to bring their best stuff out here. But you know, Irradiate seems to be really good in the mod.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it seems like it's just, you know, especially because we're in an SC2 engine, things group together very neatly.
Yeah, I mean, the Irradiate versus those Lings and Banes, that game was absolutely ridiculous. Like, just completely deleted them off the map. Now, here comes the thing I was kind of talking about, where Cure is going to have so much opportunity now to do these double medevac drops, and you can see TY is, like, forced to spread around so much and to scan. Look at how much vision he's put on the map with all these turrets and supply depots and random marines. He's trying to get any vision he can on where these medevacs are going to be going, because he needs to react immediately. He can't chase them down. He has to be able to see them as fast as possible to then react as quickly as he can. And that's so far actually doing pretty good for him. He's actually able to keep track on some of these medevacs and is keeping them outside of his bases for now.
So, I mean, overall, kind of a quiet game. You know, TY continuing to develop up. It does seem like organically Cure just has more supply with the units he's got. But, I mean, if you're going for Terran Bio and StarCraft 1, like, everything's like one supply, right? The Marine, the Medic, and everything. So it might take a little bit longer to fill that up. But we're eventually going to get to a boiling point here. I think it's probably going to be Cure making the first move. Although, as I say that, I see that TY is the one roaming on the map. So let's see.
Seeing this army move out here, it looks like Cure might want to start doing some of his backstabs, and he's setting up to do that. One turret, though, could stop all of this. Okay, luckily Cure is paying attention. We'll be able to keep those alive. But another scan showing that TY is actually going to be moving back to continue to intercept these medevacs. And so that will relieve the pressure off of Cure, so he's not going to be getting attacked just yet. And, I mean, the macro is kind of really kicked in for Cure here. He's got a really large Marine tank army now, and he's looking like he's the one that's going to try to get on top of the, or on the other side of the map here for TY. I really want to see how this Irradiate works on these Marines, because this could be absolutely ridiculous.
This could be so hype. Okay, so does Cure actually see that, by the way? I think this is like through the blind spot, so I don't know if he's... Okay, he's going to see it now. He scans. StarCraft 1 Marine stim. The radiates are insane! Oh my
Jesus
god!
Christ.
Another one goes down. He can keep chaining these together. There's basically no bio. Almost no bio left over here.
God.
I can't even quantify how many Marines I saw die. I've never quite seen anything like that before.
62 Marines have died this game, and that's like basically all of them. Like,
That's
they
insane.
basically all died right there.
It's
There's
like they
almost no
disappeared
Marines
so
died before.
fast, I almost can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, I like blinked and suddenly all of them were gone. Oh my god. Okay, you just have to go mech against Brood War Terran apparently in TVT. That was his whole Marine army. It's completely gone. The tank count is still in Cure's favor as well, though, so that's at least something. But he can't get into a position to use any of them because TY just keeps completely catching him off guard here, unsieged.
I gotta say, he really does make it look so easy.
Yeah, I mean, you just point and click the radiate onto the Marines, and they just immediately evaporate.
I
That
guess
was crazy.
I can't get my head around the fact that the irradiate's that good. Like, the damage spread is just so much, and the way that the units bunch together is so crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like we talk about how Brood War pathing is so, brutal to play in, where StarCraft 2 is so clean, but really, when you see Irradiate, you can see StarCraft 2 is just, it's brutal when you have to deal with stuff like Irradiate, right?
Yeah, it's
in
brutal
Brood
in
War,
the opposite way.
Yeah, it's actually easier in Brood War to, like, not lose as much to Irradiate.
Yeah.
Of course, normally it's Zerg that's dealing with Irradiate. You never see Irradiate in TVT in StarCraft 1.
Yeah. So yeah, it's still eventually going to be a little awkward to actually get in range of these tanks for TY. Sure, you can just completely erase the Marines from the field, but there's still a lot of tanks. Like I was saying, it's 12-9. So it's still going to be a little awkward. TY does still have to stay on top of this positioning. He's done an excellent job of actually out-positioning and just being on top of wherever Cure is actually moving. So he's been able to get some decent trades. This time, though, he's a little bit out of position to deal with this forward push, but there's not really a base down here to really threaten as Cure. So this position, it's not really threatening too much at the moment.
So, Cure hasn't really accomplished that much yet. TY is still soaking up most of the map on the right.
Oh my god, the Irradiate.
The Irradiates are crazy, although I will say it does seem like TY has a bit of a tough time actually engaging the tanks regardless.
Yeah.
TY is stretching up all the way to the top right side of the map. There are plenty of bases here for Cure. He's on 4 bases right now, so TY is just narrowly ahead.
We've got the Vikings now to help deal with these science vessels, but a couple of Wraiths ending up on the field. Defense Matrix as well being used. Wow, those Vikings deal no damage when that Defense Matrix is on. That's insane.
D-Matrix is pretty good, man. It can definitely change an entire fight. A drop over here in the main. Oh my god.
I mean, the tanks are still really annoying, so it's going to be hard to actually get rid of all these units here. Wraiths do not kill these tanks quickly whatsoever. They are literally poking them. They're spitting on these tanks.
Yeah, Wraith's air-to-ground attack has always been very bad. Seems like Blizzard was very concerned about that before the game came out. But, how much has Cure bled off over and over again? I think if TY just relies on some counterattacks, he can win this game. Because TY just seems to be able to set up these impregnable positions in a pretty basic fashion. Like, he just has a bunch of tanks, and then he irradiates any Marines that are over there.
Cure, unfortunately, had his Vikings stacked too much, so they didn't actually all land at the same time, so he lost quite a few of them.
Oh my
Irradiate's
God.
still doing very good against these Marines here. Cure's been doing better at splitting off the Marines, though, on time, so I feel like that first fight was just really caught him off guard, I think, and it obliterated the Marines much faster than he was really anticipating, but regardless, this is still a very close game, actually. It's still very difficult to decide who will be coming out on top in these fights, because the tank count is ridiculous still, 14-6. Battle cruisers, though, are on the field. Missed that transition there.
Oh, yeah, good call.
So that's going to be huge.
Oh,
In come the
what's
fleet.
up?
Oh, my God. That
And
is
here's the thing, you can keep irradiating all these Marines so the battle cruisers just clean up. I guess Vikings are a problem, but what about Valkyries? What about the other V unit, Gemini?
I mean, the defense matrix also is insane on these battle cruisers, and this is going to be total air superiority now for TY, pushing the rest of the tanks back. The question was, could he deal with the tanks? And now the answer surely is yes, as this is a massive amount of air superiority. He's got more VCs coming in the backlines as well. And the Marines are now able to get on top of some of these tanks now that they're unsieged.
Oh my god, the irradiates are so nasty. It just shreds the position, and then the battle cruisers. God, TY has such a good understanding of this matchup. And keep in mind, once the tanks fall, that's when the ground army can come in here. These tanks unsieged are going to be a pretty easy point of entry. Battle cruisers are actually kind of sharing the damage in such a way where a lot, only one's been picked off. I think that's going to be GG.
Yeah, this is just excellent maneuverability and just understanding of how this works. GG is called. TY will take it in the final ace match. Excellently done.
What a god. What a legend.
He really is the master of both games.
He is, as they say, a good gamer.